Let's get a little bit more light. Let's get light. And what better way to be make things a little bit lighter than being outside in a vehicle? Sam,
You know
you've
how
been
heavy a
playing.
car is? Cars are heavy. They're not
Cars
light.
are heavy.
Hey,
Sam, you've been playing a game about being in a car.
yes, Formula Legends, which is vaguely based off of both the horrors and successes of the. I mean, I don't know if I'm legally allowed to say it's based off of Formula One because I don't know that they say it out loud. But hey, Legends, which in game and on its exterior both reference very highly, or would suggest referencing open wheeled racing that you might know in a certain formula category.
Mm-hmm.
It is a more arcade style racer, and it is kind of like a time trial game. I would say there is certainly racing. The coolest aspect of this game is that you can, as a fan of a certain formula series, like go into this game and start basically the generation of cars that you're familiar with. So if you started watching during the 90s or the 2000s or the mid 2000s, late 2000s, like, you know, maybe during the 80s, maybe you're into the classic cars, that's there for you. There's tracks that are based off of certain real world tracks and their locations and their certain layouts. And they have both a classic version and maybe a modern and even a further modern version of some of the same tracks. So you can kind of see the evolution of the layouts and some of both the modernization of the safety features and sort of like the way that tracks evolve over time to both show off the abilities of the cars and slow them down. So that is a very interesting aspect of the game because there's not very many racing games that show you sort of the evolution of the history of some of these historic racetracks. Now, obviously, these are not actually these racetracks, both in name and layout, because for some tracks, those are officially copyrighted and some are both sold and owned to specific racing games. So not available for this game. Unfortunately, that's kind of where the coolness factor of this game stops. So the game is an arcade racer. You're not looking for realism here, but you're also looking for a game that controls well. There's a racing line in this game. You're kind of seeing it every once in a while when we're seeing this gameplay footage. And essentially on this racing line, it's both where you would want to put the car, and it's also where the developers intend you to put the car. So both grip levels and tire wear, and so by extension, both speed and your ability to turn is affected by this racing line. So if you're not on that racing line, you lose that ability. And this game doesn't support, or well, I mean, it does support it, but not very well, of you starting your turn not on the racing line and then coming to the racing line and instantly gaining more grip because now all of a sudden you're on the racing line. So there's really no way to define the grip of your car coming into a turn correctly. So not great. And the other problem is for an arcade racing game, there's no way to sort of compete against people other than times. So there is no multiplayer of any kind. There's no local multiplayer. There's no online multiplayer. There is a leaderboard system, and it is broken up by both the modern and the sort of classic tracks. And there are only on the leaderboard stuff. There's only certain cars, generation of cars, like the classic cars can only run on the classic tracks. Modern cars can only run on the classic or modern tracks. So it's not really much to like share this game with other people, I guess is like easiest way to say it. And a lot of the game is like locked behind unlocks. So like you can start in whatever generation, but you can only select certain drivers from certain teams. And the way that you unlock them is through playing and maybe beating that sort of career to get that. So like, you know, maybe you'll have Ralph Schumacher, who is a real Formula One driver, but like mouth Thrumacher or something, and his brother Mitchell as drivers, but like you won't get the one without completing the season. So it's kind of weird, especially when those have like better stats. Easy mode is like kind of like not hard. You're as soon as you're in front of the pack, you'll be in front. But anything above easy is like ungodlike, because as soon as you get touched by another car, you get spun around and you have to basically restart. Because if you're not running the precision AI line with them, you're never going to catch back up. And it's a shame, because it has like really interesting concepts, like the idea of like they have their own version of DRS, which is WRS, that they add like in the sort of modern cars. They also have like an energy reduction or a retention system to give yourself like speed boost through braking and stuff. Like they have like a really cool foundation, but the game is in 1.0, so it's not in early access. It's out. If you go to their Steam page now, they talk about how like now they're going to add like custom liveries, and they're working on both steering and artificial intelligence. But at this point, like the game's out. Like it's not going to get multiplayer as far as I know. There doesn't seem to be any discussion of that.
That seems like a really big post-launch thing to add.
Yeah, they're also talking about tracks, like making a series of improvements across tracks. And I don't honestly, unless there was a track I missed in the like 2 campaigns I did, it's just kind of weird. It just seems like this is an early access game that they're like building as they're driving down the road, and it's just unfortunate that I don't think I like the destination that this is getting to.
It looks like it wanted to be Trackmania, but couldn't commit to the bit of being Trackmania. Like, like it's like if you're gonna do the leaderboard only thing, like you have to lean hard into the leaderboard part of it.
Well, and it's you know, I don't want to directly compare it to other games, like but if you look at something like Parking Garage Rally, like it has its own identity. Now this is like kind of borrowing an identity, if you want to call it that. But it's sort of like not giving you a reason to work towards getting better times, because the real like unlocks and where you want to focus your time is in the sort of quote unquote story campaign stuff. But then you're just racing against AI that if they get like within an inch of you, you're sort of magnetized together. And then you're spun out and you're at the back of the pack. So it's either like restart or fight your hardest to like get back on them or whatever. So, it's just, it seems like a lot of wasted potential. And it just seems like this game's in early access when it is released. So, shame. Maybe we'll check in 6 months and see where we're at. But